All right, so we're starting shoes off. You can also have socks off, and we're going to work on just feeling our feet. So let's start with weight shifting, just side to side. Feel if you're on the right side or the left side. And today we're going to work on going even a little bit further than just through our feet. We're going to weight shift. So you're unweighting your foot. Then come back to center. Weight shift, unweight. And each time I'm going to have you try to get centered. And as you're weight shifting, you're rolling through your foot. So roll up and then roll down. Roll up and roll down. And then I want you to check in with your posture. As you're doing this, are your shoulders really rounded or are you standing up nice and tall? And now let's come to center. And I want you to try to be even between your right and your left feet. I want you to check in with your feet. Are your feet underneath your hips, or is your base of support really small today? Or is it really wide? My goal right now is that your feet are underneath your hips. And from here, let's work on going forward and backwards. This isn't that huge movement where we're going up onto our toes and rocking back on our heels. We're working on just coming forward where your toes are starting to grip the floor, and then coming backwards where your toes are just starting to lift up from the floor. And you should hopefully be feeling those small muscles in your feet working. And again, standing up nice and tall. Shoulders hopefully are back. Okay, and then let's find center in our feet. So that's equal between your right and your left side, and then also feeling equal between your front part of your foot and the back part of your foot. As we're standing here, hopefully your arches feel like they're lifted. So it shouldn't feel like your whole foot is making contact, that your arches are slightly lifted. We have worked on weight shifting, where we're taking a step with the face of a clock. Today we're going to warm up with weight shifting through our feet and ankles, moving towards different numbers on the clock. So we're going to start with 12 o'clock, move to 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now let's go counterclockwise. So 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do that one more time. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Opposite direction. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to center. Okay, so let's find center again. And I'm going to have you grab your tennis ball. We're going to put it on the floor. And you may want to have a chair close by for balance, or you can use a wall. And we're going to first just work on rolling that tennis ball up and down along your foot, waking up those small muscles. So hopefully this feels pretty good. It's like a foot massage. And then focusing, if you think about your toes, like rays, we're going along that first toe ray all the way to our heel, and then our second, and then our third, our fourth, fifth. Now let's go opposite way. Fifth, fourth, third, second, first. And from here, we're going to move the ball to right under the ball of your foot. And we've done this in class before, working on our toe wave. So we're going to work on just lifting our toes and then having them relax over the ball. Lift our toes, relax down. Lift our toes, relax down. I'm going to come a little bit closer to the camera just so you can see my foot better. So I'm lifting my toes and then relaxing down. Lift and relax down. Lift and relax down. Lift and relax down. So this is all about just waking up those small muscles on our feet today. All right, and now let's go back to rolling that tennis ball along the different rays of our toes. So this helps wake up those small muscles. It also gives some really great sensory feedback to our foot. And we've talked about how a lot of times with balance issues, it is that these sensory pathways or roadways aren't working so well between your feet and ankle and your brain. And so by giving some increased feedback, so from the ball, that can help strengthen that pathway. Okay, now let's switch sides. So we're going to move the tennis ball over to our other foot, and let's just work on rolling it back and forth. And if you need to, you can use your chair for balance, a wall. So we're first just working on the arch. And from here, let's start going along those rays of our toe. So first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and now back towards our first. So that fifth, fourth, third, second, and first. Okay, let's try that again. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and back. So fifth, fourth, third, second, and first. All right. And now let's just go move the ball towards the ball of our foot. And we're going to work on just lifting our toes and relaxing them down towards the ball. Lift and relax. lift and relax, lift, relax, lift and relax, lift and relax, lift and relax, lift and relax. Let's do one more. Lift and relax. Couple more rolls, just forward and back. So the more pressure you put on that ball, the more sensory input you're giving to your feet. Let's do one more. All right, let's set our ball off to the side. All right, and then let's come into a lunge. And we're going to work on stretching out our calf muscle to start. So we've stretched out our feet, those small muscles in our feet. We've woken them up. Now we're moving on to our calf. And here I'm just going to have you work on bending your knee and straightening. Bending and straightening. Bend and straighten. I'm just going to turn my body so you can see a little bit better. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend, straighten. Bend and straighten. So this is an active way of stretching. So we're getting that muscle to stretch, and then we're engaging that muscle and stretching. So hopefully you're finding that each time you're coming back, you're going a little bit further. All right, let's switch sides. So you're going to bring your other foot forward, and you're in this lunge, which is great for us to work on our balance. We'll just spend a couple seconds here getting into the stretch. Make sure you're standing up nice and tall. And then let's add in that knee bend. So bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend your knee and straighten. And if you can see, my body is staying pretty still. It's just my knee that's bending. And then let's try to go a little bit deeper into that stretch. And come back to center. So next what we're going to do are some squats. This isn't like our big class, squats and sit to stands. This is more being really focused on how you're moving through your feet, your ankles, your knees. So we're going to stick our tush back, and you should feel like you're weight shifting back through your feet. Your toes may come up slightly. And then as you're coming forward, you're bringing your hips, you're squeezing your tush, you're standing tall. So this is going to be much slower, and I want us to be really mindful of our movement. So we're sticking our tush. You can bring your arms out forward. Toes are coming up because we've unweighted the front part of our foot. And then bring it forward. Squeeze your tush as you're coming up. Go back. Toes are lifted. Bringing your arms forward help to counterbalance. And then bring your arms back. Squeeze your tush, stand tall. Again, stick your tush out. Those toes, you could even do a couple toe waves here. And then squeeze, stand tall. Bring those arms back. And then stick your tush out. And toe wave. Squeeze, stand tall. And as you're squeezing, you're bringing your arms back. You can really engage your arms. Squeeze those arms too. Okay, let's do a couple more. Stick your tush out, big reach, toe waves, and then squeeze, stand tall. And back down, toe waves, squeeze, stand tall. And back down, squeeze, stand tall. Let's do 3 more. Back down, squeeze, stand tall. 2 more. Squeeze, stand tall. 1 more. Squeeze, stand tall. All right, let's find our center again. Let's get hands on your hips. Now we're going to work on moving our pelvis. So we talked about this last week, sticking our tail feathers out. So rocking back and then tucking your tail feathers. So stick your tail feathers out, tuck your tail feathers. As you're doing this, trying to keep your knees, have a soft bend in them. This should hopefully feel like a good movement for your pelvis, for your low back. I'm just going to come a little bit closer to the screen so you can see. So rocking your pelvis back and then tuck. Back, tuck. Back, tuck. And as you're doing this, I now want you to check in with your feet. Where is your weight? Are you noticing that you're all on one side as you're doing this, or are you staying centered? Are you noticing that you're way back on your heels? Try to shift and keep your weight in the middle part of your foot. And then let's come back to center. Again, feeling rounded. Hopefully our hips, our legs, our feet are all warmed up. And we're going to work on standing here, keeping this posture, and we're going to close our eyes. If you need to for balance, you can have a chair right there or use the wall. So we're going to just work on keeping our posture up tall, closing our eyes, and then checking in with your feet. When you close your eyes, are you noticing that you're rocking all over? Are your hips moving all over? Are your feet really having to pull into the floor to keep you stable? Those are all good things to check in with. As we get older, our balance strategies and our standing strategies become really dependent on our vision. And so it's so important for us to practice activities with your eyes closed. And eyes open. All right, and let's either use our chair or the wall. We're going to do our hip circles. So hip circles are bringing your foot out, and it's like you're drawing a circle with your big toe. So you can do it on the floor, or you can bring it up a couple inches. As you're coming around, you're really squeezing your tush and bringing it in. We're going to do 10 going clockwise, 10 counterclockwise. Standing tall, let's go. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to keep that circle as big as you can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going counterclockwise. So reaching it back, really stretching through our legs, squeezing our tush, and bring it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that circle big. As you come around, it should stay big. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's switch sides. So checking in with our posture, we're standing up tall. You're going to bring your foot forward. You're drawing that circle with your big toe. And let's circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squeeze that tush as you come around. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back to center, and we're going counterclockwise. So reaching it back. 1. Keep that circle big. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's come back to center. Next, we're going to do side stepping. So we're going to work on doing a big step out to the side, working on rolling through our feet. And then as you come back to center, I want us to really push through your leg to bring it in. So side step, come down, push, and come in. Bring your leg out. You're rolling through your foot and push, come in. Side step, roll down, 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 push, come in. As you're bringing your leg out to the side, squeezing your tush. Rolling through our feet and getting nice amount of power through our foot and ankle as you're coming back to center. Really be mindful of our posture. So let's switch sides now. So standing up tall, you're going to bring your leg out to the side, roll through your foot, and then come back. You're pushing through that foot and ankle and back in. And roll and push and back in. Back out, push, back in, and out, push, back in, and out, push, back in, out, squeeze that tush as you're going, push, back in, out, push through that foot. Really trying to get some good power. Push. Let's do 3 more on this side. Push. 2 more. Push. 1 more. Push. All right, that looked great, everyone. So I'm just turning my body so you can see me. We're going to do a similar move, but going backwards. So we're going to bring our leg back. You're going to roll through your foot. You can bend that knee a little, and then you're going to push through your foot to bring it in. All right, let's go. So back, you're going to roll, push, and bring it in. Bring it back and roll, push, bring it in. Bring it back, roll through your foot, push, bring it in. Bring it back, roll through your foot, push, bring it in. I'm just going to stop the group for a second. When you're doing this, I want you to imagine that you have headlights on your pelvis and they're going straight ahead. As you're coming back, we want those headlights to keep going straight. We don't want to open up through our pelvis because then rather than using our tush, we're using other muscles. So I want you, as you're stepping back, keep your headlights going forward. All right, back at it. So bringing it back, roll through, push, bring in. Back, roll through, push, bring in. Back, roll, push, bring in. Back, roll, push, bring in. Let's do 3 more on this side. Back, roll, push, bring in. 2 more. Back, roll, push, bring in. Give me 1 more. Back, roll, push, bring in. All right, I'm just turning around so you can see me better. All right, so we're doing the other side. Check in with your posture, check in with your headlights, make sure they're pointing ahead. So we're going back, roll through our foot, push, and bring it in. Back, roll through our foot, push, bring it in. Back, roll, 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 push, bring it in. Let's do 3 more. Back, roll, push, bring it in. Back, roll, push, bring it in. Let's do 1 more. Back, roll, push, bring it in. All right, coming back to center. Trying to feel the middle parts of our feet, making sure we're not shifted over to the right or to the left too much, or forward and backwards too much. Next, we're going to work on marching. So with marching, this is going to be in slow motion. So we're lifting up, bringing it down, lift up, and bring it down. This is really important in terms of that weight shift, accepting weight with stability, and then staying tall as you do your lift. So it's so easy for us to come forward as we're doing our lift, but I want us to really work on staying tall, pushing through our standing leg. And the slower you go, the more challenging it is. And as you're bringing your foot down, I'm going to have you work on rolling through your foot. And if you'd like, we're going to add in an arm swing. So you're going to lift that opposite arm up. Let's do 2 more on each side. All right, let's come back to center. Next, we're going to work on heel raises. So we're going to do 10 where we're just coming up and then back down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next round, we're going to go 1 count up, 3 counts down. All right, let's go. So 1, and then slowly down. 2, slowly down. 3, slowly down. 4, slowly down. 5, slowly down. 6, slowly down. 7, slowly down. 8, slowly down. 9, and 10. Okay, let's go into our lunge. Stretch out our calves a little bit. So the lunge for us works on so many different things. It's helping stretch out our calves. It's helping stretch out the front part of our hip. Also, being in this position is working on your balance and your posture. So when you're in a lunge, I want you really working on standing tall, keeping your shoulders up. And let's bring it in and switch sides. And this should hopefully feel like a really nice stretch. And let's bring it in. We're going to do 2 more rounds of heel raises. So this next round is 1 count up, 3 counts down again. So 1, and coming down nice and slow. 2, and come down slow. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. On this last round, we're going to do 3 counts coming up, 2 counts coming down. So when we're coming down, I don't want us to go down so fast that you're crashing down on the ground. So it's still with control. So coming up slower. So 1 count, 2 count, 3, and then 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, and back down. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 3. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 9. 1, 2, 3, and back down. That's 10. All right, let's go back into that lunge stretch. And if you can, for extra challenge, if you're feeling stable, try to do the lunge without holding on. So you could go from holding on to just fingertips to having your hands hover. Good, everyone's looking so great today. And let's switch legs. So you get into position, and if you can, check in with your balance. If you're holding on, see if you can go to fingertips. See if you can just hover your hands. While we're here in this position, I want us to check in with our feet. Do you feel like your toes are really having to curl into the ground to keep you stable? Or are they able to be rested and relaxed as you're in this posture? Also, make sure you're breathing. Sometimes when we're working on balance, it's easy for us to forget to breathe. And bring it to center. I'm going to have us grab our tennis ball. And what we're going to work on here, we're going to start with feet about hip distance apart, is dropping and catching our ball. So we're going to do this for a minute with our feet hip distance apart. One thing I want us to focus on while we're doing this is that you're not getting halfway down to the ground as you're doing this. You're standing up nice and tall. So this is a great exercise to work on coordination. And in my other class, I talk a lot about how it's good for us to exercise our eyes, which can help with balance. And this is actually an eye exercise too. We have 10 more seconds. All right, if you can, let's now bring our feet so that they're staggered. One foot's going to be slightly in front of the other. And we're going to do that same thing. If you don't have a ball at home, you can work on just getting into this posture where your feet are staggered and that you're working on standing tall. We have 10 more seconds. And then we're going to switch legs. All right, come back and switch legs. You may find that your feet and ankles and your calves are really engaged more, adding in this ball toss. It's working on doing two things at once. All right, and then let's come to center. Okay, we're going to try this. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but we're going to work on throwing and catching. So you can, if you need to, you can grab and cradle it. And I think that this is helpful for us to be checked in with where are we keeping our weight when we're doing this? Are we way back on our heels, or are you able to stay fairly centered? If this feels really challenging to do in sitting, you can do this in stand, or if it's challenging to do in standing, you can do this in sitting. This is a great coordination exercise. Let's do 15 more seconds. All right, and let's put our ball down. And next, we're going to be working on standing on one leg. So we're going to first just work on lifting our foot and finding center. We're going to do 30 seconds on this leg, and then we'll switch and do 30 seconds on the other. Again, make sure you're breathing as you're doing this. You have 10 more seconds on this side. And switch legs. And bring it down. So next, we are standing on one leg, and with our lifted leg, we are writing the alphabet. This is a great exercise just to get our feet talking to our brain. So this is something that you could even do, if you're sitting, at home watching a show is in a commercial break, write the alphabet with your foot. And let's switch sides. Great. And let's just do a couple weight shifts, rolling through our feet. Okay. Next, we're going to work on our heel to toe walking. So we can either just do it in a forward direction, If you feel stable, then you can add it in a backwards direction. We're going to do 2 minutes of this. One more minute to go. Fifteen more seconds. All right, and back to center. Okay. So let's finish with some stretches today. So let's bring our ear to our shoulder, and you can use your hand to give a little extra pull. And then with the opposite hand, you can reach towards the ground. Open up through your shoulder, making sure your palm is facing me. And come back to center. Let's do the other side. So bringing your shoulder or your ear to your shoulder, then giving a nice pull, and then you can add in your arm. So palm to me, reaching down to the ground. And with stretching, nothing should be painful. It should just feel like a good stretch. And come back to center. Next, we're going to work on just resetting our shoulders. So we're going to work on bringing your shoulders up, turning your hands out, relaxing your shoulders down, and then just relaxing your hands. Hopefully it felt like it brought your shoulders from more forward to back and down. Let's try that again. You're going to lift up, turn your hands, relax down, and just float your hands down. This is something that's great to do anytime during the day, especially if you're noticing that you're getting more forward. All right, let's come to sitting. Okay, and let's bring one foot forward, and you're going to lean forward to get a nice hamstring stretch. As you're doing this, trying to keep your spine neutral, so trying not to round. Keep your collarbones up. And bring it back in. Do the other side. And roll up. Next, if you can, let's cross our leg. We're sitting up nice and tall. Hopefully you're feeling a good stretch in the side part of your hip. To get more of a stretch, you can lean forward. And then let's add in stretching our feet so you can give a nice pull to your toes, stretching them down. And then you can also pull up to give a nice stretch to the bottom part of your foot. And float it down. Let's do the other side. So getting in position, and then if that feels comfortable, coming forward. And then if you'd like, you can add in a foot stretch. So grabbing onto your toes, pulling them down to get some nice stretching in the top part of your foot. And then going the opposite. So pulling your toes up to get some stretching in the arch. And let's float our leg down. And you have crossed the finish line for today. Woo!